In the first Academy graduation, about a little over a year ago, they had all of the presentation to the senior leadership team. They had all of them stand up, and they said, if you're going to retire within 5 years, you can sit down. And I think just about everybody sat down. And so it was a great visual, and I think it really hit home for that group in the audience of what the challenges. I mean, it's one thing when you look at the age bands, and we have charts that come out of our data warehouse and our talent management, and when you see the pie charts of age distribution, but when you actually see that knowledge base that is going to be leaving the organization, it really hammers home the need for that next group to come in. To that last statement I made about the legacy and the importance of leadership, there's a very, very real sense in our organization with the senior leadership group, especially the I would say 4 or 5 key leaders. They are very intently focused on what has gotten us to this point. They don't want the momentum to stop, and they don't want the organization to get stagnant or fall behind. I give a lot of credit to our senior leadership team that they see we call it the Academy. They see the Academy and a lot of the work that we're doing as a long-term strategy. Even though I think out of our project solutions, there's going to be some really significant ROI in the 5-year window, I give them a lot of credit that they're looking 10, 15, 20 years out.
Yeah, for us it was really a business imperative. It's kind of like the Marshall Goldsmith adage, what got you here won't get you there. Like, we knew we weren't going to get where we needed to go if we didn't do something dramatically different. It didn't take a lot to convince the senior leadership team that this was the way to engage a core group of leaders in building the organization of the future. And so, we were lucky to have that opportunity and that support early. So we didn't have to fight a lot of battles with should we do it or not. It was more about how big, what was the right size, but at the beginning it wasn't much of a challenge.
When you think about 10,000 baby boomers retiring on a daily basis, organizations admitting that they can't put the right leadership on top of one of their key initiatives, that they're growth constrained because they don't have the right enough of the right kind of leaders to move something forward, it starts to build itself. Some of that case starts to build itself, and it's just really pointing that out. It's continuing to help point that out to our organizations.
And I'll speak specifically about Dacotah Bank and the financial services industry, but I think that it's present for everybody in this room, regardless of the industry you're in, is that things are changing fast. It's VUCA, whatever you want to call it, things are changing fast. And there is a generation that's leaving. And I can speak about this because I was we were in the organization where we got behind the 8 ball in terms of being proactive about leadership development. And whether it's action learning, I'm a firm believer in it, and he's an evangelist of it. Being proactive about getting it out in front of it, not in the next year or two, but the next 5, 10, 15 years. To me, that's the most important aspect of this process, is that more than anything else, this is long-term strategic thinking, and that's the value prop for the senior executives, and that's the emotional ROI that kind of burning platform that you need to hit with them versus having a traditional ROI conversation.
Need help building a business case for your high potential program? Let's begin a conversation.